Hello students, how are you all? Welcome to science class of standard 10. Today we are going to study chapter number 16, management of natural resources. Okay, in we have completed the first part of this chapter already. In that we have studied about what are resources, definition of resources. Then we have seen about the Ganga action plan and how the government has undertook that multi-crore project and what are things are included in that project. After that we have seen about 5 hours, and then we have discussed about why do we need to manage our resources. Again we shall discuss it in detail. We need to manage our resources for the future generation because resources are not unlimited in number, they are limited. So if we will consume all the resources, nothing will be left over for our future generation. So we should maintain the resources for our future generation. Then the next topic is forest and wildlife. Okay, so forest are biodiversity hotspots. So for forest a biodiversity hotspot means all kind of plants and animals are present in forest. All kind of flora, fauna, bacteria, fungi, flowers, birds, insect, nematodes, reptiles, everything is found in the forest. Now just imagine if forests get deforested, then the home of so many creatures will be destroyed, and because of that our complete ecological system will become imbalanced. Next topics is stakeholders means the people who are responsible for the condition of the forest. If forest is in good condition, it is because of stakeholder. If the forest is in bad condition, it is because of stakeholder. Which peoples comes under stakeholder? First the are tribal peoples or the local people who are living in forest comes under stakeholders. The second position goes to the forest department of government. Okay, so government is also responsible for the condition of the forest. The third goes to industrialist, mostly agro based industrialist. And the last goes to forest and wildlife enthusiastic. Now, for how each of them use the forest. First, we'll talk about the local people. Local people use the forest and its product for their daily use. They use bamboo to make their huts. They use so many things from the like woods and that things for making the implements for agriculture products, and for their livelihood they use the food and fodder from the forest. After that, if we talk about the forest department, from last centuries of years, so many people used to stay in the forest, but there was no any government for the forest. After that, when the Britishers came to India, they made one different government for the forest. After that, that government is the people who used to take the rents from the local people for living in the forest. And also they used to they used to plant a suitable trees which are helpful to them for their from them which they get the profit. After the Britishers left over and went, the independent government was also set up from our country, and that government did the same thing. They continued to be ignored in the management practice, and they converted to monoculture of pine, teak, and eucalyptus. After that, the next position was the industrialist. The industrialist, mostly the agro-based industrialist, who used to get profit from this forest. They used to come to the forest, take the important things and valuable things from the forest, use the forest products, and left the forest, and they used to vent. Okay, so like this the industrialist also use the forest for its purpose. After as one from one forest they used to cut the trees, take the wood, and went after they don't grow the other trees in the same forest. They left the forest and then they went to another forest for for its purpose. They don't even care about the deforestation what they have done. Last are their forest and wildlife enthusiastic. Forest and wildlife enthusiastic are the normal peoples. We can also be the people who are not directly involved with the forest but indirectly that can help the forest, or indirectly can help to preserve the forest or to conserve our environment, to set up different projects and to bring awareness among the people. Like this one, Amrita Devi Bishnoi movement was there, which took place by the Bishnoi community in Rajasthan for the conservation of forest and wildlife. For it has been a religious tenet for them. After that, Government of India has instituted an Amrita Devi Bishnoi National Award for Wildlife Conservation in the memory of Amrita Devi Bishnoi in 1731, along with 363 others, for the protection of khejri trees in Khejrali village near Jodhpur in Rajasthan. From this, it has been an example for so many peoples. And then the low management was protected by the local people by be successful in the long run. So the local people told about that management should be given because they are so close to the forest that they can conserve the forest in a well manner. But the industrialists were not accepting it. Government was not accepting because they government get the money from the industrialist, because industrialists give them a lot of money for using the forest. So they were not allowing the local people to be the part of the sustainable management for the forest and its products. So for being the sustainable management, the local people was not at all accepted by the government. So after that, local people used to take some action or take some steps. For that, one movement was that is a Chipko Andolan, means a hug the tree movement or Chipko movement. In that, once when the contractor came to the village for cutting down the came to the forest for cutting down the trees, all the women's gone and ran and hugged the trees and they tried to stop the contractor from cutting down the trees, but the contractors didn't accepted that, and along with the trees they killed so many peoples in that movement. After few time they came to understand that so many people because of this movement has been died, and then the government felt so bad, but because of that so many people along with the trees were died. After that, peoples were allowed to manage the forest. From that, one more movement came into existence, that is one sal tree movements in 1972, in the West Bengal Forest Department recognize its failure in reviving the degraded sal trees in the southwestern districts of the state. In that, the government has promised and exiles made one project in the Mindapur district with the A.K. Banerjee, and along with that so many villagers were involved. In that, the government allotted for the protection of 1772 hectares of badly degraded sal forest. In return for the help in protection, villagers were given employment in both silviculture and harvesting operations. 25% of the final harvest and allowed fuel wood and fodder collection on payment of nominal fee. And after few years, the sal tree that forest has become the worth of 12.5 crores, and from that 25% of the final harvest was given back to the tribal people. After that, the next topic is water for all. But water must be used by everyone, by the local people as well as by the urban people. So, but the usage of urban dweller is more as compared to the local people. Okay, so the Britishers and all made some projects like constructing large dams and canals and for traversing large distance was convinced and implemented by the British and carried with no less gusto by our newly formed independent government also. So dams, for constructing dams there are many advantages like it in the time of flood, the water flood, it will help not to, for the flood during the flood time, it will help for the soil erosion, it will help to conserve the large amount of water. What are the demerits or the disadvantages of creating a dam was that it need a huge area, it needs a huge amount of expense, and lot of deforestation is done for in case of making the dams. And after that, for making the dams, government used to take the land from the for local people or from different peoples, and they used to promise different policies that if they will allot the land they will give some amount of good profits, but they didn't they didn't give them any profits and didn't give any money also in few areas, and didn't even give any other more benefits which they used to give promise. Water harvesting means storing the water or conserving the water. For conserving the water in the traditional method that was applied, that was khadian system. As you can see in the figure, on a slope trees were planted. When a rain used to come, because of the rain the tree also get the rain and trees can grow. From that slope water used to run down, and water is stored because of the khadian burn. You can see in the figure, because of that khadian burn the water is stored in that area. The water goes down in the underground seepage. Because of that, underground level of water remain maintained. From there, the water is also if it gets overflow, water can go in the shallow dug well, and from the direct rain also water can be stored in the well. Okay, in this way water can be stored. If we talk about coal and petroleum, so these are the fossil fuels. For being for the production of this fossil fuel, it takes about millions of years for the for this fossil fuels to be come to our daily life, but it takes so less time to use it and to waste it. Because of that, we must conserve our fossil fuels, because it is not easy to make the coal and petroleum, and how much easily we are wasting them. So the management of this energy source involves slightly different perspective from those resources discussed earlier. Coal and petroleum were formed from the degraded biomass for millions of years ago, and hence these are resources that will be exhausted in further no matter how carefully we use them. And then we should need to look for alternative source of energy. Various estimates as to how long these resources will last us exist, and one is that at present rates of usage our non-petroleum resources will last us for about 40 years, and the coal resource will last for another 200 years. Underline that, okay? And from where we will get that, it's written over here. When these are burned, products of carbon dioxide, of nitrogen, and oxides of sulfur, and combustion takes place in insufficient air, then carbon monoxide is formed instead of carbon dioxide. Of these the products, oxides of sulfur and nitrogen and carbon monoxides are poisonous at a high concentration, and carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. Another way of looking at coal and petroleum is that they are huge reservoirs of carbon, and if all of this carbon is converted to carbon dioxide, then amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere will also increase, and it will cause global warming. Okay, so we have to use several steps to conserve. There means here options are there: taking a bus, using your personal vehicle, or walking or cycling. So if we take a bus, it will be more helpful than going by personal vehicle. It will use more petrol. Using bulb or using fluorescent tubes in your home. Use the lift or taking the stairs. Wearing an extra sweater, using heating device. Now you have to choose which we have to option we have to use, so that our most of the energy sources can be saved. So here we end our chapter, and in this chapter we have lastly we have studied about coal and petroleum. Before that we have studied how to conserve the water and what are the sources of water harvesting. That are one example of it is dam. What is the advantages and disadvantages of making a dam? And before that we have seen how the local people interrupted the government in the management of resources, and because of the people so much of profit has been got to the government, and why we need to manage our resources, and what are the natural resources, and Ganga action plan are some of the few important topics of this chapter. Thank you for listening the class. Thank you.